All right. Welcome to the stream. Yet again, we are here. Let's see. Hello, Felipe. Welcome, welcome. The Crazy Ed. Welcome to the stream. All right, so we're going to continue working on, for anyone watching that doesn't know, I'm working on a 2-week commercial game and 2-week challenge right now. And so I started Monday of this week. I have a week from next Monday to finish it, and the goal is to have a nice, polished game that's worth a couple bucks, throw it up on Steam, throw it up on itch. I've done this before on the channel. I made a commercial game in 1 week, a game called Mirrored Pawns, which you can check out on my Steam page, but we're going to be continuing working on this challenge today, so a lot of stuff to do. Beta 16 just landed, and now we're just a few ways from release candidate. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I did see that. So I might have to I want to build a Godot 4 course, so Gunforged might be a little bit delayed between doing this and then also making a Godot 4 Udemy course. So that's how it goes. But yeah, so today, what we're going to be doing is basically just working on the polish of this game. So let me show you what I have so far. So I've got basically all of the systems built, and I'm starting to play around with the art. As you can see, I found like this kind of retro style art, which I think is pretty interesting. So I can move around the skeleton. I can summon another skeleton warrior. I have cooldowns now, so the abilities are at the bottom here. And I can smack the demons over here. So if I move this guy, boom, he's dead. And now we're good, and I can summon another skeleton warrior, and we're all good. So, and this is supposed to be a necromancer. Still work in progress with the art, but I think for tonight's stream, what I want to focus on is I want to get this like polished up, you know? So I think I'm going to do a little bit of work on the tile set just to make it look a little bit nicer. Then I'm going to get some hit effects in place, try to make everything operate more smoothly, that kind of thing. So yeah, we're gonna see how that works. So first thing to do is let's change something here. Let's change the clear color of the window. Let's see. Oh, that's not right. Do we have like a visuals? Yeah, clear color, transition color. So let's replace that real quick. If you're using a color palette, you're switching to a color palette, it's kind of important to get all of the colors updated in your game, because it's amazing like what colors that aren't supposed to go together will do about your feeling of the game, you know what I mean? Like it'll make you feel like your game's ugly if the colors aren't right. So, and this palette may not be final, I don't know. I'm just playing around with it, but oh, our skeleton, we got a crash. Derpy Ninja Frog, welcome. I got a crash somehow. Start off the stream again with a crash. Parameter pointer is null. All right, let's see if we can fix that. Always got to start off the stream with a... Oh, you know what? I might know the issue. Let's get this guy to die. No, I don't know the issue. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Well, we don't have to fix that crash now, I guess. We'll figure that out later. Okay, so what should we work on first here? So we want to make this feel a little bit nicer. So the first thing to do, I think, is to more squarely situate this into the screen. Actually, I think what I was doing is I was... Let me look at my levels here from the other game. Yeah, the game camera... I think I was centering the camera on the tiles, is what I was doing before. Game board, is there a camera in here? Interesting. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. Anyway, I'm gonna put the camera, the game camera in the room here. Just put it right there. We're gonna grab a reference to that game camera. Private game camera, game camera. And then what we're gonna do is on ready, we're gonna take the tile map, which is going to be the first node of type tile map. And then how do we get the center? Is it just, I guess it would just be the center of the bounding rectangle, right? So if I did tilemap.getBounding get used rect, I think is what it is. Then I can say game camera dot global position. Oh, gotta use the variable. Global position is equal to used rect dot position plus used rect dot size divided by 2, and let's just round that. All right, yeah, so let's see if that works. So if I run this, is that going to center everything in the screen? That's not right. Oh, it doesn't look like the camera was even updating. Let's print the used rect. Is this even working? Oh. Yeah, I have to multiply this by the tile map size. Whoops. So what I actually want to do is I want to multiply by the cell size here. All right, now we should be good. So we'll center that, and then we'll do something interesting like doing animations. There we go. All right, now it's nice and centered, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. So let's do something interesting. Let's give the skeleton... Well, let's give everything a movement animation first, right? So let's go to our animator component. And I have this move to tile, which is already moving the global position. And I think we can just... So if we run the game, the old version of the game, you can see that he does like a little hop. And so we're going to do the same thing. And, you know, maybe we should just... Wonder if we should just animate that with an animation player, or if we should use a tween. I think animation player would probably be easier. We're not going to be able to see what we're doing though, so let's add a sprite. And we're going to go ahead and throw the skeleton warrior on there. And we don't need to do anything fancy here. I'm just going to set this up so that it is positioned correctly for animating. Okay, and then let's do this. Let's create a move animation. We're going to add a track, which is, let's just go up here to the animator component, transform position. And how long does it take to move? It's 0.3 seconds. So over a course of 0.3 seconds, we want to animate. So position, we'll go halfway up, and then we'll say go up, maybe 5. Or something more exaggerated like 10, and then bring it back down. Perfect, and then we're going to change the scale as well. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. Am I going to be able to do that? No, I'm changing the scale in here. Hello, Tone Min. I think I said that right. Hello. What's up, J0? Welcome back. Nice to see you as well. So the problem is I wanted to animate this scale, but the problem is that this is already messing with the scale. So that's what we call a bummer. So perhaps... Let me think about this for a little bit. So let's take a look at our skeleton warrior setup. So we've got the animator component, which sort of serves as the animation root. Perhaps what I should do is I should add another node here, a node 2D, and I should call this the visuals root. Something like that. So I can animate that separately, and then perhaps this should be applied on that visuals root, right? So visuals root right there, and then in here as well. This is probably going to be better. The problem though is that I got to make sure that I can, so I got editable children. I just have to make sure that I can make this a child of it, and I can't. Okay, so I could do something really hacky here. I think what I'll do, I'm going to do something really hacky, which is not going to be terribly hacky. I'm going to make this a tool script, and then public override void get string get configuration warning. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say if this dot get child count is equal to 0, or is that, yeah, or this dot get child. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm used to using my Godot utilities, which requires that because they're extension methods. But so get child at, is that right? I think it's just get child, right? Get child 0 is not node 2D. Return. Let's do fancy error message. Name of animator component requires a, let's say not equal to 1, or so if the get child count is not equal to 1, so if I have more than 1 children or no children, and the first child is not a node 2D, I'm going to say this animator component requires a single visuals root node of type node 2D. And I could do this more fancy too. I could do name of node 2D, which isn't necessary. You only really want to use the name of in case there's a chance that your class name is going to change, because then you don't have to update the strings, right? String.empty. So we're going to make it a tool script that can do a configuration warning, and we can make it fancier and make it update and whatnot, but I'm not going to do that. And so, gosh, animations are like the hardest thing to do in Godot because it's just exceedingly difficult to use an animation player across different nodes. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and remove all that. Let's build. And is this even going to work? Gosh, why does it always bring up the summon skeleton warrior first? Okay. So that is going to work. All right, let's do a node 2D. Hello, Dragon Apple. I'm so cold, OMG. Well, I'm sorry about that. Hello, Sylvatic98. How you doing? So in this animator component, I guess what we're going to have to do is just animate it. So let's call this the global position tween. We're going to create another tween. Local position tween. And so what we're going to do is we're going to say private node 2D visuals root public override void ready visuals root is equal to get child 0 as node 2D. Okay, so that's very prone to breaking, but I'll just make sure to set up my scenes correctly. So we're going to create a tween, and this is just going to be our up-down motion. So I'm going to say my local position tween dot tween property. And this is going to be my visuals root. We're going to tween the position, and then we're going to do vector2 dot 1 minus, or times, no, vector2 dot up times 10. Float duration. Let's just do var duration. Let's just put that in here. Probably should make that a constant at the top of the file, but I'm not going to do that. So position vector2 up duration, let's do divided by 2, and then we're going to put it at vector2 dot 0. Okay, so we should see that just working immediately now. So animator component. Let's look at my daemon. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to add another. Actually, you know what? I wonder if I can just keep it like a sprite like that. Might be able to, since it's a node 2D. Well, let's give it a shot. Could you make sprite sheets in Godot? I could, but I don't want to draw a bunch of frames. There we go, so we've got hopping. That looks pretty good. So I think what I want to do as well is I'll probably just make this parallel. Local position tween, let's see, set parallel. We're going to tween that property, local position tween dot tween property. Now this is losing the meaning of its name, but that's fine. Visuals root, let's do rotation degrees, and we'll do -15 duration divided by 2. Local position tween dot chain. Then we're going to want to set that rotation degrees. Oops. Back to 0. Okay, let's see how that looks. Cool. And then we can probably make that a little bit more exaggerated, so -25. And then the last thing I want to do is change the scale. So we're going to change the scale to vector2 dot 1 times 1.3 maybe. And then let's move that down and change it back to vector2 dot 1. And let's see if that works. Perfect. And we want to set the transition types here as well. Why don't I put the div2 directly in the const? Because I need it in 2 places. I guess I could, but I'm not going to do that either. This is, because I could do like const float half duration. Just extra effort. But I guess it wasn't too bad. Okay, so let's do the set transition type on the scale. Tween.transition type dot sign ease type. We have more than 13K students for your Udemy course. That's pretty good for 5K subs. Yeah, I don't know. That kind of like blew up. There's apparently more people on Udemy that there's more people on Udemy than on YouTube, apparently. I also didn't do a very good job of sending those students to my YouTube channel. So, marketing is not my strong suit. It's not at all. And copy and paste that. Okay, I think that'll be fine for now. We're gonna make this really shine. I wonder what happens if I kind of want to take the rotation degrees out of here and create a new tween. I'm going to create a new tween right here. Rotation tween. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like 0.1 for both. Actually, I'm going to do 0.1 3 times, but I'm going to go -25 and then to 10 and then to 0. And we're going to see if that works. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you... Did you like it, Clash Stats? I hope you did. Hope you learned a lot. Statue will feel better if you make it bounce when it spreads fire. Well, it's not a statue, but yeah, that's what we're working on. We're adding polish and movement to the game tonight. Okay. So I don't think that maybe this needs to be ease type in. This one maybe need to be ease type out. Not sure. That feels a little bit better. I might even increase that scale deformation. Cool. They also need to have... Goodness, they need to have an idle animation as well. How did I do that in my old one? Yeah, I just had an idle animation. Interesting. Maybe I should have used an animation player, but that would have been really, really annoying to deal with. Because basically all of my entities are going to move the same way. And so if I used an animation player, I'd have to figure out a way to wire it up to reuse it across everything. What I can do is I can do this. I can... Let's see what this does. Maybe I will go back to the animator component and I will add... Oh, no. Really enjoyed it, thanks. I was the one who added the question for how to hide the mouse cursor. Oh, I gotcha, yeah. So how do we want to do an idle animation in here? Could just do everything as a tween. Why not? Position. So this is a 0.8 second animation. I'll just recreate this. So we're going to do this. Private void create idle tween. Private void destroy idle tween. If idle tween dot is valid equals true, then we're going to call idle tween dot kill. And we're going to set the position to vector 2.0. So we're just going to reset that. And then in here, we're going to say idle tween. Well, we're going to call destroy first. So destroy idle tween. Idle tween equals create tween. And what are we going to do in here? Idle tween dot tween property. We're going to tween the position of this. And in here, sorry, before I forget, what I want to do is I want to call destroy idle tween. This might get super messy. I might have to redo this later, but we're rolling with it. I only got 2 weeks. Well, less than 2 weeks now. So we're going to do vector 2. What was I using in here? So it starts at 0, starts at -2, and then -1. Vector 2.0. I'm basically just going to recreate this. So 0.2. New vector 2, -2, -1. That... Oh, wait. I guess I'll just start it off of that one. -2, -1, then go to 2, -1. And that goes after another 0.4. And then it goes back to vector 2.0 after 2. And then we're going to say idle tween dot set loops 0. And that should loop it. Let's see. Okay, we're getting there. It needs to call create idle tween on ready. And what I might do is I might do this. Idle tween dot set speed scale mathutil dot rng dot randef range. We're just going to set it between 0.9 and 1.1. Just to vary it up a little bit between all the entities. Okay. So that's feeling better already. It's very hard to tell what squares are what on the tile set that I'm working on, so gonna have to figure out what to do about that. But everything's looking good. So we need to do an attack animation now for this Skeletron. So let's figure out how we're gonna do that. Let's get rid of that. How did I do the attack animation for the skeleton? Or for the original player, rather. I think I just did an attack. Oof. That's going to be quite a bit of stuff to do. Probably refactor them out of launch, yeah. It's amazing what a little bit of movement can do for the game. Makes it feel much better. That's kind of why I'm tackling polished stuff tonight, because the game was feeling very boring with just everything being static, so adding a bunch of bounciness to everything is going to be very helpful, I think. Oh, I don't really feel like recreating this in a tween, though. Let's do this. Public async task attack tile. Oh boy. So I'm just going to copy all of this. Yeah, the reason that I'm doing this is because it's a pain to set up, but once it's set up, I can throw the animator component on anything and it will use that same animation set, right? So I just have to configure it once, and then if I have 3 different enemies that can do melee attacks, they're all going to be using the same exact code here, so. But this is just a pain in the rear end, so to speak. So what we're gonna do, so let's break it down. So the way that I approach tweens is I do this. So I just try to think about like, what are the individual components of the animation? So if I want an entity to attack an entity that's in another tile, I obviously need to move the attacking entity into that tile a little bit, right? So that's the first thing I'm gonna handle with this global position. And so we're gonna take attack tile, we're gonna say vector 2 tile. And what was I saying? Oh, you know. What was I saying? We'll figure it out. Let's see. Can you swing the sword? Let's see. Can I swing the sword? No, it's a static thing. I mean, I can make it swing, but... And regarding this is all going to change. I'm just putting this here as scaffolding to work off of. Don't you worry. So global position, so what we want to do is we want to we want to send the global position over to the center. Maybe not quite in the center, but... And then what we're going to do is we're going to say, do that after 0.2 seconds. And then what we're going to do is, so we've got that. I'm going to get rid of set parallel. So that's our global position tween. Okay, let's set that aside for now. Let's call this our scale tween. And I guess I didn't really... Yeah, let's just get rid of that. Okay, so we've got our scale tween now. And what we're going to do is... Scale. So we're going to do a very big scale. Vector 2 in the F, and then probably like 0.6 in the Y. This is going to also take 0.2 seconds. And then we want to bounce it up. So we want a couple more in here. So we want to do new vector 2. We're going to do the opposite direction now. What we're going to do is probably 0.9 and like 1.5 or something. So snap it up a little bit, and then we'll bring it back down. Probably go a little bit the other way now. And then bring it back to vector 2.1. So those are all the scales that are going to happen, and then we'll probably put 0.1 F there, 0.1 F there. Now, here's the tricky thing, right? What I want to do is, there's a way to like await all of the tasks. So let's see, execute tile command. I basically don't want anything to happen in the game until all of these animations are done, but I might have an animation that's a little bit longer than another one. So let me see. Execute tile command. I think I'm using this strategy. Let me just see. Interesting. Well, let's just see where I'm using the await. So basically, there's a way that you can await multiple asynchronous methods at once. And I'm just trying to figure out where I'm actually doing that. Oh, task when all. Here. Await task when all. So check this out. So I can do this. Await task when all. And in my, I can have an IEnumerable here. So new, what does this even return? Signal awaiter. Signal awaiter. And then we're going to say to signal, global position tween finished. To signal. Oh, I did this in the wrong place. Whoops. This goes over here. To signal, global position, and then scale tween. So now what's happening is that... did I even do this right? Cannot convert from signal awaiter to task. Is there a way that I can, like... Oh, dang. Maybe I can't... Maybe this doesn't... These return signal awaiters, which apparently implement IAwaitable, so I can't await all of those. Okay, well... Maybe I can't do this. I thought I was being fancy. I think you're awesome and an inspiration. Thank you. Appreciate that. You're so nice. Jeez, I'm gonna have to make sure that my head can fit through the door. You guys are trying to inflate it. No, I do appreciate it, though. Thank you. I do appreciate that. What are you working on, JRPC? Anything in particular? Were you inspired to work on anything specific? So I guess I'm just a liar and I can't do this. I thought I was going to be able to, but that's all right. I'm not sure what the behavior is in C# either. Let's see. Let me just look this up real quick. Await multiple IAwaitable. All right, let's see if Stack Overflow comes to the rescue. Okay, that didn't come to the rescue, unfortunately. Man, I'm kind of, if I could just write this in JavaScript, I could just await promise.all. Boom, done, you know? You're making a boss fight, J0? Nice. What is it? What is the boss fight? Is it like a big guy with a sword, Elden Ring style? By the way, did y'all see we got any Elden Ring players in the chat? Did you see that there's supposedly the biggest From Software DLC ever coming out? Probably gonna have to no-life that. Before I started my cybersecurity company, I was going into indie game development using Godot as the engine, but I figured I should get rich first and then go that route. Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, it's a good strategy. It's kind of the boat that I'm in. I'm a software engineer, working standard 40 hours a week, so I would love to do this full-time, but that would mean giving up a lot of money. Is switching to Godot 4 worth the time? Depends on how far along your project is. If you're like almost done with your project and it's Godot 3 and Godot 4 doesn't have anything that you need or want, then I would say it's not worth the time. But if Godot 4 has some improvements that you want and you're not too far along in your project, I would consider it. You can check out my video where I went through the process of upgrading my Godot 4 project in C# on my channel. And but if you don't have an active project, I would recommend just starting with Godot 4 because it's going to hit release candidate soon. I'm working on Vampire Survivors clone for mobile. Nice. Too easy. Does Vampire Survivors have bosses? I know that game, like everyone loves that game, but I actually didn't enjoy Vampire Survivors that much. I much prefer Brotato. And I think that's probably, let me get some opinions from the chat here. So I'm going to make a Udemy course for Godot 4. And my idea is, so similar to my other Udemy course, which is make a complete 2D platformer in the Godot engine. I'm going to make a Godot 4 course, create a Survivors style, a complete Survivor style game in the Godot engine. So it's going to be like, how do you make a Vampire Survivors clone in Godot 4 from start to finish? Any thoughts on any of that? Wanderlust, yeah. Yep. I don't have much experience with C#, but I think you just needed to not await the separate tasks. Well, the problem is that these return signal awaiters instead of tasks. So I think that's what's screwing everything up. And I'm not entirely sure it implements IAwaitable. So I don't think it works the way that I want it to. You love that? Cool, cool. Your boss is the Brotato approach. Gotcha, gotcha. I'm like choosing between Godot or JavaScript to make games. Oh no. Okay. We'll just await one of these then. It's fine. So we've got this attack tile. Okay, so this is going to look really bad to start with. And I also have to return the owner to the position. Actually, I don't think I want to do this. I think I just want to change... I don't want to change the owner's global position unless I'm actually moving on the board, because the owner's global position is used to get the current tile on the board. And so if I use the global position as part of an animation, that could screw up some logic, right? So I'm going to change this actually to visuals root, and we're going to change this to just plain old position. Actually, we'll keep it global position. And then we'll change this to position. So it's back in local space, and we can just change this to vector 2.0. Because these are related, right? They're indirectly related, but position, when you change the position, the global position changes and vice versa, right? So, I don't know, let's see what happens. So we've got this attack tile, right? And so what I want to do is I want to go to my melee ability in here. And when I call execute tile command, so in here, this is where I'm going to await things, right? And so I'm actually going to do something else here, which is I want to, in my animator component, so let's close to the right. In my animator component, I want to do a signal here, which is signal, let's do public delegate void attack animation halfway, something like that. And then in here, what I'm going to do, right in here, I'm going to say position tween dot callback. This name of emit attack halfway. Cool. So when it gets to that tile position, it's going to emit this signal, which I can listen to in here, right? Not in there, in here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, this is my target entity, right? Get entity at tile position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, what is my current entity? Dot get first node of type animator component dot attack tile command args dot target tile position, and we're going to grab a reference to that animator component, and we're actually going to make this easier for myself. If animator component is not equal to null, we're going to do this. Animator component dot attack tile. We're going to await to signal animator component name of animator component dot attack animation halfway. Why are you complaining? Because I need to make this async. Can I do this, var task? Can I do this, await task? Task. What happens if I do this? I don't even know. I don't know much about asynchronous in C#. So let's do await task. Oh, I also want to damage it, yeah. I don't know. Let's see if that works. All right, let's see. I think it's a cool idea. For example, in my experience making that type of game, I had to learn ways to optimize the code in the game for it not to make the devices explode. Yeah, on mobile especially. Yeah, handling lots of entities on mobile is a good good challenge. Well, I do hurt animations. We'll see about that. I think pretty much the camera shake is gonna do it. Death animations for sure, but since the entities are kind of tiny and there's going to be an attack animation and also the camera's going to shake, I'm not sure if a hurt animation is going to be super noticeable, but we're going to see. It's very possible. What are we doing today? Well, Light, I'm in the middle of a commercial game in 2 weeks challenge, and so I'm just working on that right now. Specifically working on polishing up the game, making it feel a little bit nicer before continuing on with the rest of the development. And we're about to see if the skeleton attack works. Also, my animator is animating these things. Why? Well, the answer is because it's got a tool script. So I'm gonna reset this. Yeah, I'm gonna reset that because it probably messed up all of the positions. Room, skeleton warrior, demon, and I think that's it, right? Yeah, okay. So we're gonna put that back. If not engine dot editor hint. Okay, so only if the game is running it will set up the tween. Okay, perfect. Let's go. All right, so we've got something working. So you saw how that worked. Now, obviously, that sucked. but we are getting there, right? Also, it's really annoying me that this guy is, like, not centered. So let me just... I think right there is accurate. Okay. So we're getting there, right? Do you make the music for your games? I don't. No, I either buy the music. Well, I buy the music either from a game dev market like, Game Dev Market or some other similar website, or I hire a musician to do it. Will state machines work well in this game? If I had my delegate state machine, I might have used it. But that's in the Godot 4 branch of my Godot utilities. And so it's kind of like... The only place where the state is really important in terms of like a state machine is with the player controls. So this player manager component. So this component is basically responsible for handling the input that the player gives to the board, right? This is where state matters because you have a number of states, right? Like if I click on an entity, that means that I should see the entity's hotbar and be able to choose one of its abilities, right? If I click on a tile, I need to know whether an ability was selected before I clicked on that tile, or if I'm just moving, or if I'm just attacking, right? If it's not my turn, I have to reject the player input. And so that's all being done in here, but it's not explicitly using a state machine. You can see I've got this current state variable, but basically what I'm doing is just every time I click an entity, I'm just doing this switch statement with some logic to decide what needs to be done, which I guess is kind of like a state machine, but it doesn't look like what you'd typically make in terms of state machine. So kind of, sort of, I think, yeah, you could make use of a state machine in this game, but I am not really doing that. All right, so let's keep working on this animation. So there's a couple of other things that need to happen, right? So we've got this attack, global position, and then we probably want to add just like vector 2 dot up times 5 or something. Just make him go up a little bit. Okay. And then we're returning to that position. Let's just see if that works. So there's a little bit of wonkiness going on here. So I think what I need to do is I need to do like a wind up, right? So we need to do position tween. Let's just do this. We need to do like a little bit of a wind up here, where I go up first and then down and then probably back up, honestly. Oops. I'm just curious to see what that does, what that kind of looks like. Yeah, that's looking better. Well, it's getting there. It's not super impactful yet because I'm missing a couple of things here. So the scale here, we want to tween an interval that's just a little bit of a delay here. Then I probably want to make this even more pronounced. We'll see how that looks. Yep, that's looking better. And then I think what I need to do is I need to do this quicker. Okay, that's getting there. Do you see how that's how it's slowly getting there? Okay, that's actually looking pretty decent. I can tweak that a little bit, but for now, I'm going to say that that's okay because I want to try and see what happens if I add the camera shake. So if I say tween callback, this... Actually, do I want to do the camera shake in the animation? I don't think so. I probably want to handle it just like in the melee. Yeah. I think I probably just want to do it here when I call the damage. So that it applies to anything that does a melee attack. Okay, and it looks like the scale and the position are a little bit disconnected from each other, so let's see what's going on here. So we've got 0.2 seconds here, 0.2 seconds here, then it's, so we got 0.4 second delay. We're waiting here, I see. We just need to delay it a little bit more. It doesn't feel like it's bouncing back extreme enough. Let me try something. Make the numbers a little bit more extreme. What if we turn this down, this global position down to 0.1? A lot of just tweaking numbers here. This is the annoying part about tweens. Okay, that's looking better. Hello, Sir Guamsalot. How you doing? I'm also wondering if maybe doing a 0.1 tween interval and then doing another scale here. Well, also I should probably add the transition. Maybe I should do that before I do anything else. Okay, that's looking good. Yeah, that's looking great. Okay, and now the recovery, I think, needs to be a little bit slower. So it's bouncing in, bouncing back, 0.2, 0.2. So we'll give it a little bit of slowdown when it's bouncing back. All right, looking good. Let's add a little bit of rotation to this now. We're gonna add a little bit of rotation. So the idea is that this game is kind of, my goal is to make it feel a little bit like chess. So a lot of the animations are going to be the same because it's going to feel like you're moving pieces on a board as opposed to like entities with their own unique animations and stuff. We'll see if I accomplish that. Good, been loving the streams recently. Awesome, glad you are. I think it stretches too far out. It looks like it would hit the enemy 2 tiles away. Well, that's kind of the point. Like, it looks underwhelming. It doesn't look as impactful if you don't stretch it out too much. I could probably turn it down a little bit, but you can't really underestimate the power of overstretching something. Like, I can actually show you. So if you look at the player, so this is the attack animation, right? So look at his peak, he's this stretched out. Now maybe this is actually smaller. Yeah, so that's 2. But you can get away with a lot of stretch, especially if it's very quick. So it's not really about like, do the visuals accurately match? It's about, do the visuals convey the feeling that you're trying to convey? And in this case, I want to make it feel like there's a really fast smack going on, you know? Bam! What's up, Blubbers? Also, welcome to the stream, Jamie. Or Jame. So the player take turns, display attack range. Yeah, you have 1 action per turn. And the attack range is displayed, it's just, I need to make this better. It's the white dots. So I can move. And so it is displayed, just gotta make it look nicer. So we're gonna tween the interval, tween property, visuals root, rotation, object, rotate it 15 degrees. Over 2 seconds, and then rotate it back. Let's see if that works. Yeah, the white dots are both for now, where you can move and attack. But like I said, that needs to be changed. Oh! Did you see the spin move? What did I do wrong? Oh. Sweet spin move. Maybe I should keep that. But also, oh, it's supposed to be rotation degrees. Maybe change the visual of the white dot to an arrow or sword. Yeah. I don't remember how it was in the full game. It was something like that. Float and int. Oh. Maybe we'll make this a little bit more apparent. Okay. The other thing I want to do is I want to put this skeleton warrior on the other side and make sure that it works when facing the other way. Okay. So I'm probably going to want to say this scale. Yeah. So I want to call face tile here and also call it in here. And also I want to call destroy idle tween. And then create idle tween. Perfect. All right, look at that. So the enemies are leaning, or the skeletons are leaning into the enemies a little bit now. Special ability, 360 Demon Killer. That's actually kind of funny. Maybe I'll just, if I have time, maybe I'll just make that one of the random animations that can do like a spin dunk. Okay, so that's looking better than it was, at least. Okay. Now, how did I do it in here? Yeah, so the cursor turns into a sword when you're hovering over an enemy that can be attacked. Yeah, so there's still a lot of stuff to do to get this to work the way that I want it to work. Okay, so what should we do next in terms of feel? Well, let's go to my old demon. Where's my old demon? I think I called it just enemy. Hit. Game board, floating text manager, spawn hit. Spawn text hit. Global position, cool. So I'm going to take this floating text manager. I'm basically just going to copy this. So where's my floating text? Yeah, I probably can just use this the way it is. So we're going to instance floating text manager. See if we can add a little bit of pizzazz to this, you know? We'll keep it there. That's already in a group. Cool. Node extensions. This is a very cheap way of doing this. Get floating text manager. Cool. So now in this melee ability, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a, let's see, this dot get floating text manager dot spawn text. How's this working? Oh, perfect. Hit. And then we're going to say var text is equal to that. Text.globalPosition equals target entity.globalPosition plus vector2.up times 16. We'll parenthesize that because my IDE wants me to. See, look, it's already like just that simple set of things. Add a few animations, add screen shake, add that floating text, and it's just like... Can't go wrong, and I could even make this like the actual number that the damage is doing here. Perfect. Check that out. So already feeling much nicer. Okay, what else should I work on here? What else needs to be polished up? Well, there's a lot that needs to be polished up, but... And these enemies aren't really finished yet. So I could either continue working on polished stuff, or I could start figuring out how to work on, like, the main game loop. Which, so for those that don't know, the main game loop essentially is going to be... what am I saying? The main game loop is going to be like a roguelike. So you fight through different arenas, and it's just like a strategy turn-based game. And then at the end, when you win, you get presented with some rewards. So the idea is you'll start as the Necromancer. You'll have one ability, probably like the Summon Skeleton Warrior. And you win, then you get a choice. You can grab another spell, another ability, or you can upgrade the Skeleton Warrior. But with the upgrades, when you upgrade your minions, your summons, they're going to have a positive and a negative trait. So one thing I was thinking of is like, okay, well, your skeleton, when it's upgraded, might, you know, gain a block ability or something that you can use to block damage. But maybe every time he attacks an enemy, he also does damage to friendly units within a certain radius, right? So the idea is like you're going to have to pick and choose your upgrades about your minions, and there's going to be disadvantages to it that you're going to have to plan around. We'll see how much I get of that done. 2 weeks is not a lot of time, but got a lot of work to do. All right, yeah, so we can work on the visuals on the ground here, so... Going to have to think about what they should be, the visuals. I wonder if just using the white outline that's here would be fine. Let's commit this first. Friendly fire, oh no, yeah. Yep. Alright. How are we gonna denote moving? How do turn-based games typically denote the movement area? Yeah, there will be a UI. Just trying to think of what I should make this. I think if I make it like this indicator right here for all the tiles you can move to, that might be a little much. That might be a little much. I guess I could just do like, well, let's see what happens if I do that. So that's valid indicator. Danger indicator. What am I doing? Tile cursor is what it's called. I mean, I can try it. Let's see. I'm not going to change that yet. Let's just see what this looks like. So that's what that looks like. I think it's probably a little bit much. Would you ever do code reviews? I'm feeling I need something more substantial than tutorials. That's an interesting idea. Do like a code review segment or like a code review series on the channel or something, or on live streams. That could work. I'll have to think about that. That's an interesting idea. It would be something fun to do for sure. Anyone have any ideas for what this indicator can look like? I wonder if just making it like a a semi-transparent white square is good enough. Let's try it. Oops. That's probably not gonna look good, but we'll see. So we'll save that. Just make it a square. Let's go. Let's see what happens. Oops, forgot to change it back. That's actually not terrible. The question is now, when there's a larger radius, does that look okay? I think it probably looks all right. I wonder if I just change the animation. I don't know. What do you think? Does that look okay? If that's like the valid places where you can move. Maybe I'll give it a little bit of a rounded edges. That looks sweet. Awesome. Let's see. Yeah, give it a little bit of rounded edges. Yeah, I think I like that. Very simple to do that. All right. Okay, I also think that instead of freeing these nodes in group, I think I want to do this instead. Let's see. Okay, so first, I'm getting way ahead of myself. I need to do input manager component. I'm going to get rid of that from the resource preloader because I don't need that anymore. This valid indicator, do I have a die? Yeah, I do have a die. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, got this die. So I'm going to say get tree, call group, string group name of valid indicator, name of valid indicator dot die. Now, is that going to work? Let's see. Okay, too much, but it's on the right track. Cool, so now they kind of like poof out of existence instead of just disappearing, which is great. Boom. All right, it's coming together. It's coming together. You're too influenced by Fire Emblem. Blue tiles is movement, attack is red, and heal is green. Well, my game is not going to be that complex, so I don't need that many differentiators. Okay, so we've changed those. Now we need like, we need to be able to highlight the proper tiles if it's like a targetable tile, right? We need to turn it like red or something. Let's see, red, or should it be red, or should it just be... Maybe it can stay white and I just change the cursor color, or the cursor to the sword. I'm gonna switch this around though. I don't know why I did this the opposite way. Maybe I was just trying to be... Maybe I was just trying to be cool. Fix up that cursor. How do I even use this? Use attack, use normal. Maybe I can update that real quick. So player manager component. Let's see, tile cursor. Where even am I updating the tile cursor? Whoops. Oh, wait, that's not even the right. Sorry, I just gotta figure out what I'm doing with my life. Indicate valid tiles, okay. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. So, I wonder... Alright, well, before I get too deep on that, let me just rotate this other one as well. Rotate. Flip canvas horizontal. Then we're going to need to take that and put that in the right position as well. Cool. So we need to turn this cursor into a sword cursor when I'm hovering over an enemy, but only if I can attack the enemy. Oh boy, that might be a little bit tricky. That might be a little bit tricky. Let me think about this. Here, let me, just give me 30 seconds. I'm going to go refill my water, and then we'll be back to figure this out. All right, I'm back to figure this out. So what is determining whether I can use an ability? So this handle entity tile command is the method that is telling me if I can attack an enemy. And I think maybe I can borrow some of this to figure out what I need to do. I can't put it in here because this input manager component doesn't have any it doesn't have any of the context about the current state of like what I have selected and everything like that. So that's a tricky one. So if I select an entity, I basically need to be able to get the state of the tile when I hover over it. That's essentially what needs to happen. So in here, I'm going to create a new signal. Public delegate void tile hovered. Vector 2 tile position. Okay, so my process, we've got this update tile cursor. We're going to grab the tile position. Grid manager component dot world position to tile position. Okay. If grid manager component dot is world position valid tile position, then we're going to emit signal name of tile hovered with that tile position. Okay, and so this will be responsible for updating the cursor then. So, private void on tile hovered, vector 2 tile. I'm probably just going to need another state in here. I'm just going to do this real quick and dirty. This is not going to be This is not going to be good. Oh, also the other thing that I want to do is update tile cursor. I only want to do this, so hovered tile equals tile post. I only want to emit this signal if the tile has actually changed, if the mouse tile has changed. So, and hovered tile is not equal to tile post. Okay. Cursor dot use normal, and then if default ability I'm gonna have to fix this. Okay, this is going to be very bad in the future. I just know it, so I'll be looking forward to the day when that happens. If default ability is melee, is not move ability. This is not going to work probably into the future, but it will work in this case, and so I'll just do that for now. I'm not even using this state ability selected, so I'm going to get rid of this. Handle ability tile command. Am I using the ability selected state? Oh, I am. Not in here, though. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to connect the input manager component to that tile hovered signal. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's see. I just joined. What's happening? We are polishing up my game in 2 weeks. Commercial game in 2 weeks challenge game. It's not anywhere close to done, but just adding a little bit of animations and some better looks to it before I continue on with the core development experience. So yeah, trying to make a game in 2 weeks. I'm already, well, I started Monday and it's Friday, so I'm already, basically almost 5 days into it. And yeah, it's going good. Going good. Now I have to see if this is... I have to see if this is even working. I don't know if it is. Okay, so this is not even working for some reason. If grid manager component is world position valid. Oh, that's named incorrectly. Is tile position valid? All tiles contains yes. Okay. And hovered tile. Oh. Well, that's fine. Why is this not working? Update tile cursor. gd.print. Yo. See if that's even working. That is not working. Interesting. World position to tile position. Get global mouse position. That ought to be working. Oh, I'm using the wrong... Whoops. This needs to be is tile position valid. Okay. Using the wrong method on my grid manager. That's all right. Look at that. Boom. And it's not switching back, but that's cool. That's fine. Right. Okay. There's a couple things I need to do here. This is going to become a mess. Use normal. I will refactor this once I have a better idea of what all of the skills and whatnot are going to look like. But for now, I actually don't know. So we'll just get this in place, get it working at a basic level, and then call it good. And then we'll call it good. Now, what am I doing? Cursor.use normal. So at the end of the turn, we're just going to force the cursor back to the normal state. And we're going to call that. There we go. Interesting. Interesting. Oh wow, no, I don't like that. Okay, let's see if that works. I think I fixed my logic. Yeah, so now if I hover over the entity, it tells me I can attack it with the little sword indicator. Boom. Cool. All right, so let's see. Update various move and attack indicators. Cool. Hello, Trayson. Welcome. I'm doing great. Unfortunately, though, I think I think I'm going to call the stream there. Sorry you just joined, I know. But little hour-and-a-half stream on a Friday night. But I'm starting to lose a lot of mental steam here after a long day of work and then also doing this for a couple hours. So I will probably be streaming tomorrow, though. So if you want to be notified of that, ring that notification bell. Should let you know. And yeah. And yeah. I hope you all have a good night as well. Thanks for tuning in. Hope the stream was entertaining and or informational. And yeah, go wishlist Gunforged on Steam if you haven't done so yet. Let me link it real quick. So yeah, if you want to support my work, wishlisting Gunforged is the best way to do it. I get that I was exhausted after working today as well and want to code my game, but can't. Yeah, that's how it goes. It's you can only go so far in a day, right? But all right, thanks everyone for watching. Really appreciate it. I'll be on the stream tomorrow, so I'll see you then. All right, good night, everyone.